Welcome to my declutter part 2. Today I'm going to be decluttering eye products, mostly eyeshadows, but I have one eyeliner, one mascara, and one eyeshadow palette as well. And I will be swatching every single product for you so you can understand the formula and the colors and why I'm decluttering each one. And by the way, as you're watching my declutter series, I've actually already decluttered a ton of products over the past few months, and I gave them away to about 10 different Instagram followers. So be on the lookout on Instagram for any giveaways that I do, or sometimes I sell used makeup as well. And my Instagram handle is State of Kate. First things first, this Armani Eyes to Kill mascara. Lord, this did absolutely nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. It didn't make my lashes longer, thicker, more voluminous, didn't lift them, couldn't hold a curl. It was just there. It just made them look there. And I ain't about that life. It also kind of flaked a little bit. You know, mascara ultimately is just such a subjective experience. You know, my holy grail, which is the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension Mascara, which is a tubing mascara. Some people say that that smudges and flakes on them, but it has never smudged or flaked on me. So everything here, everything on my channel is subjective. It's all 100% just my opinion. You might have a totally different experience, but some of you do have similar preferences to mine. And so if you do, I would say maybe give this one a pass. Recently, L'Oreal came out with this line of Infallible Grip 36-hour wear mechanical liner pencils. I love the brown shade. The brown shade is already in my daily makeup drawer. I'm wearing it today. I love it. It's true. It is budge proof. But for whatever reason, the black one transferred to my bottom lash line, and I didn't have, or sorry, my waterline. And I didn't have that issue with the brown one. Also, this was a biatch to remove. Like, I had to use my cleansing balm, and then I had to use my face wash with a washcloth, and it still didn't come off. And at that point, it's like, all right, I am too lazy for that. So the black one didn't work, but the brown one is awesome. Next up, I have this eye gloss from Danessa Myricks in the shade Kaleidoscope. I've actually never worn this, and my friend Claire gave this to me. She had used it a few times. You know, I thought that I was gonna use this for like editorial makeup looks, and I was gonna do all these creative YouTube videos, but anytime I do tutorials like my festival makeup series, they end up being the least watched videos on my channel, and I'm so insanely busy these days, I just don't have time to put in a lot of work into something that people aren't gonna watch or appreciate. And ultimately, this isn't the kind of product that I would reach for because it is glossy, you know, it does get really messy. It's not something I'd wear in my daily life. So I'm gonna pass this on to someone who's gonna get more use out of it. I have one eyeshadow palette, and it's this Makeup by Mario palette. This is the Master Metallics eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. I bought this years and years ago, and then I just realized I did not like the formula. These just really don't pick up much at all. I prefer glittery shades that pick up a lot of product on your fingers. They're kind of lackluster for me. I mean, I guess under the artificial lights on the sides there, you can see they look shiny, but even some of these just don't give me the payoff that I'm really looking for. So even though this is old, it's been used maybe twice, and like really just for swatches. So I don't know. I just realized, you know, the color story is not for me. I don't love the formula. I'd rather give this to someone who's really gonna use this and not have my money go to waste. I'd rather someone else enjoy it. Okay, next are these Bobbi Brown eyeshadows. These are the Luxe Eyeshadow Rich Metals. This is in the shade Heat Ray, and this is in Melting Point. And Melting Point's my favorite, but I can't use it on my channel anymore because it got discontinued. And first of all, it is just not a good idea to ever use something on camera that's been discontinued, because you will inevitably get comments like, "What eyeshadow are you wearing? Can you link it in the description box?" And then it's just kind of annoying when you can't do that. I feel like it's a tease for people when you wear something and then, you know, they can't get it. I would describe Melting Point as a cross between a peach and a light copper. So it looks like that on the back of my hand. It's kind of overexposed in the camera right now. It is quite a peachy coppery shade, although it looks closer to my skin tone on camera because it is so reflective. But I'm gonna pass it on because you just can't get it anymore. Now, Heat Ray is the one that you still can get, but unfortunately, I just realized I don't reach for super copper, super orange shades. I do reach for colors that are a little bit more nuanced than that. I feel like this is just a really standard orangey copper, so I'd rather give it to someone who's gonna appreciate it. I have two Flower Beauty Chrome Crush pigments. I kept the shade, I think Topaz, or like Bronze Topaz. That was my favorite out of the ones that they sent. Wait, I think they're on the side. Yeah, this is copper and this is amber. These threw me off. I was expecting them to be glittery, but they aren't aren't really. This also, again, this is just like Bobbi Brown Heat Ray. It's just like a standard orange. And it's pretty, but it's not like glittery and sparkly like I was looking for. It's really just a metallic shadow. So for me, it's just not special enough. I really wanted something that was like chunky and glittery, like, you know, the Hourglass Scattered Lights, the Bodyography glitter pigments, and these just were a little lackluster. And then this is the shade Amber, which is very pretty. It's more of a cranberry kind of color, but I'm really layering this up, and it takes so many layers to get the kind of pigment that I want. So while these are really pretty, they're just not for me. Hoping you can see the colors a little bit better here. You know, they are very pretty, they're smooth, there's not terrible fallout. They're just a lot more sheer and a lot less impactful than I was hoping for. And these two colors in particular don't do anything for me, so I'm keeping Topaz. I'm also gonna declutter two Bodyography glitter pigments. On the left, I have the shade Comet. On the right, I have the shade Blue Morpho. I'm gonna start with Blue Morpho. So this looks like it's gonna be super pretty, a gorgeous blue with some like periwinkle glitters, but it is so sheer, it's really barely there. You have to layer this, like, look at that. It just, nothing comes off. It's just like when the light hits it just right, that's when you can see it. And I don't really like products like that. I would have wanted this to be quite pigmented so I could use it all over the lid. Comet, however, is their standard glitter pigment. So it's a lot chunkier. It's a lot more pigmented, as you can see on my finger. I'm actually still debating this one. I wanted to swatch it today to see if I should keep it. I purchased this because I was gonna do a Phoebe Bridgers makeup look, but I had people vote on it and like literally no one wanted to see that video. And I feel like Phoebe wears lighter silver colors, although I have seen her do a look where this did seem to be like the color she used. And it is really beautiful. I mean, that's a stunning color, but you know, I just don't want to keep products that I'm just gonna keep around for special occasions, like to film one video or to go to one concert. It's just not worth taking up space in my drawers. Next up is this new eyeshadow trio from Kaja. It's their Coral Sunrise trio. This is fine. This one and Forest Night have different formulas. So the darkest matte shades on the bottom do have a little bit of glitter in them, as you can see here. And I just found that the mattes in the two new shades were a lot drier, chalkier, and more difficult to blend. The middle shades were their usual kind of glitter formula that's very, very fine, very smooth, kind of like medium amount of shine. And for this one, I just really didn't like this color. Like anything that's kind of pink on my eyes, like a warm toned pink, ends up making me just look like I have really bad allergies or like my eyes are puffy. So I can wear cool toned pinks on my eyes, but just nothing like this kind of NARS orgasm color that's like a peachy pink. It's just the worst color on my complexion. Yeah, you can see the color better here. It's just like a peachy pink. It just looks terrible on me. I'm also decluttering it because of this top shade. It's that kind of wet, flaky foiled texture. And so if you were to just kind of like pat this on your eyes, you wouldn't get much product. And then you would try to like tap it on and you really wouldn't get much shine out of it. So what you have to do is you have to kind of smudge this and rub all of those little foils together, and then you get that. And then in order to transfer it to your eyes, you have to smudge it on to get that crazy beautiful payoff. And then by that point, you see all this fallout and it gets really, really messy. So you either have to do your eyes first or put some kind of like a guard down underneath your eyes. And I would wear this glitter topper shade on top of this one to kind of take down the orangey pink tone to it. But ultimately, even if I were to do my eyes first and kind of mitigate the fallout, this color just is not flattering on my personal complexion. And if I want a kind of warm orangey or pinky toned Kaja trio, I'll reach for Glowing Guava. If I want something more orangey or more kind of bronze, I'll reach for Toasted Caramel. I just have so many other Kaja trios that I prefer. I decluttered two shades of one of my favorite products, the Wonder Beauty Double Date eyeshadow duos. We have Candy and Crush on the left, and we have First Kiss and I Love You So Much on the right. And I kept three shades that I reach for all the time. I just didn't love these particular shades on my personal complexion. So the concept of these products is you have a cream on the bottom, and then you have a kind of metallic foiled foiled shade on the top, and you have a little mirror, which is really nice and convenient. So this Candy and Crush one is like a mauve cream on the bottom, and you can either wear them separately or you can wear them together. And this flaky foiled one, again, I just really don't like warm pinks. Kind of the same thing as Kaja Coral Sunrise. That's why I got rid of this. Although it is a lot lighter, you can't really see it as much. And then if you want, you can make them last longer by layering the metallic on top of the cream, and you get a different color in a different finish. So it's like a little bit customizable, which I appreciate. These are quite close in tone to my skin. They're just kind of light, so you're really not able to see the real intricacies of the undertones here, but this is kind of a classic kind of light mauve, and then this is a peachy champagne pink. Another problem I have is it's really, oh god, it's like really hard to get these open. Oh my god, I can't do it because my hands are like wet now from all the wet wipes I'm using. By the way, best makeup wipes ever, the Same Gentle Makeup Removers. I feel like that whole line got discontinued, but I'm still able to get these on Amazon, so check them out. They're biodegradable, which is great. Anyways, back to the packaging. Oh, those are so hard to open. It's really annoying. I really like this one, but I just have others in this range that I like more. So you got a really nice matte brown cream here that's definitely a bit on the orangey side. And then you have this gorgeous orange gold metallic. Oh, and they're just so pigmented, so smooth, and look how insanely reflective that is. So I'm gonna layer this metallic on top of the brown one so you can see what that would look like. And it really does kind of set that cream, and then you get like a really budge-proof kind of formula. And that's what the texture looks like of both of them on the back of my hand. I decluttered this Revlon Color Stay Cream Eyeshadow in Caramel 710. I just wasn't reaching for it. It's a really good everyday shade. I love that it's super thin and spreadable. And then when you blend it, it sets down and doesn't budge. It's a beautiful formula. But for me, it's so close to my skin tone. It almost doesn't show up. Like you can see on my hand is lighter than my face. So imagine my hand's a bit darker. It's basically like the same color as this eyeshadow. So at first I loved it for a barely there flush of color, but then I realized I would have to like build and build and build to get any of that pigment I was looking for. And it was just a little too finicky and just too sheer and a little too light for me. So love the formula, but would probably need to try a different shade. Armani sent me all of their eye tints, the newer versions. I think they used to have an old version that came in a longer, thinner tube. I kept 4 of the shades, and you can see, application footage of those if you search on my channel. By the way, if you don't know how to search on someone's channel, when you see like videos, community tab, and all of that on the like top header bar on people's channel, if you click the arrow button to the right, there's a search icon on that header. And if you search for a product name on someone's channel, you'll find all the videos in it. And so a lot of people will say, hey, I can't find your videos on blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is use that search icon. Anyways, I only kept 4 of the eye tints, and the rest of them I've already given to Instagram followers that wanted them. This is the shade 10. What I love about this formula is that it is just so beginner friendly. It is very sheer, but unlike the horrible, in my opinion, Glossier Sky Washes, this is actually a very easy formula to use and wear. The Glossier Sky Washes were just so patchy, and they dried down, and they just looked horrible on me. But this is a sheer formula that's a liquid eyeshadow that is very, very smooth and even, has a beautiful amount of shine. It's sheer, so you just can't mess it up. So easy to blend. And with these, you get tons and tons of blending time before they set down, unlike the Glossier Sky Washes that set almost immediately. I just don't like these kind of grungier shades on me. I prefer a taupe that has a tiny hint of warmth to it. I also felt like this one was just a little dark for me. I prefer taupes that are a tad lighter, but I think this is a beautiful shade, and I think a lot of people would like this. So I'm definitely gonna give this to a friend. Then the shade 18M, which is a matte, is just like my skin color. It's literally my skin color. So I don't need that. I could just use concealer. And then 27 is a shimmer. Again, I just kind of stay away from certain pinks. This one is a warm pink, and I told you already that I don't like warm pinks on my eyes because they make me look like I have allergies. This is more leaning towards a pink that I can wear. It's not that bad, but I tried it and I just didn't find myself reaching for it. I kind of wear pinks that are more like this Glow Recipe, like plum lip mask gloss thing, like cool light pinks, like pastel pinks. These kinds of colors just aren't really for me. Okay, Jones Road sent me 2 of their eyeshadows. They let me pick the colors, and I picked the colors that I thought would be most appropriate for everyday wear for me. And I picked the shades Rose Gold and Copper, and they look almost identical in the eyes. So first of all, what I don't like about the Jones Road eyeshadows is these are huge. So here's a Bodyography glitter pigment for comparison. I have a hard time fitting these into my collection because my eyeshadow singles drawer is just so cramped. But also, these were really not impactful. And again, this is all subjective. This is all just my personal opinion and my preferences. You might love these because you get more bang for your buck and because they're a more sheer formula that's not super glittery. So obviously, this is just based on my own personal preferences. But you really have to layer these so many times in order to get payoff. And they're so close to my skin tone that they don't really do much. Again, this is Rose Gold and this is Copper. And just zooming you in so you can see them a little bit. Hard to see Rose Gold because it's so close to my skin tone, but you can certainly see Copper there. And they're brand new, so I'd rather just give them to someone who's going to use them. And lastly, we're going to do liquid eyeshadows. This is the new Violette FR Yeux Paint. What does that say? Poison de délice? I don't know. My high school French only carries me so far. This is a beautiful color, but this is just too dark and too pigmented for me. So that's like one little swipe and it just goes like forever and forever. Oh, weirdly, I think because I've been using all these wipes, it actually sheared out super fast. That is not how the product usually performs. Usually when I put this on, I'm just blending and blending and blending and like the pigment never stops. Ultimately, this is just a little too dark and a little too pigmented for my personal preference, but I love the shade To Do, which is a beautiful warm brown. And I also saw that they're coming out with a metallic lavender and a matte lavender, and I'm gonna be all over that. I decided to declutter the Rimmel Wonder Cloud in Honey Drop because I loved this for a long time. A couple years ago, I think maybe 2 years ago. It's a really nice, like dry, kind of whipped matte cream formula, but this is kind of light for me. So I ended up finding a color in a cream formula that is a little bit darker than this and a little more pigmented, and it is the Vive, what's it called? The Vive Eye Wand, the matte one in the shade Camel, is basically just more pigmented and darker than this. So this one I'm gonna declutter. And the last 2 products I am decluttering are the Rare Beauty liquid eyeshadows. I have featured these in annual favorites videos for quite a long time. I think this is one of the best liquid eyeshadow formulas out there. And I have the shades Nearly Mauve on top, Nearly Neutral on the bottom. Nearly Mauve is just way too pink for me. So because I just felt like it looked kind of unflattering on my eyes, I never reached for that color. My main complaint is that the shades in this line make no sense to me. They're like pinks and peaches and purples, and not even like purples and pinks and peaches that normally I would associate with eyeshadow. It's all colors I would associate with lip products. And so I just ended up not reaching for Nearly Mauve. So that's an easy declutter, especially because that one's in great condition. Nearly Neutral is one that is really close to my preferences. It's beautiful. It's a great warm brown. It's definitely not neutral though. It's quite warm if you ask me. But I don't need to own this because now I have the Violette Yeux Paint in the shade To Do, which is a much better shade match for me. And it's a formula that is super pigmented. It's gonna last like my whole life. And it's just a fantastic product and I prefer the shade. So I'm gonna send this to someone else. Well, that's it for my eye makeup declutter. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely having fun filming this series. Let me know if you like overhead videos and I can definitely film more of these. I finally got an overhead camera rig so I can film these more easily without it being a total pain in the ass. So let me know once this declutter is done if you'd like me to do an overhead swatch video of my entire makeup collection. Like I could swatch all of my lip products, I could swatch all my eye makeup, all my base products. I don't know if that would be helpful for you or if that would be interesting or relaxing. Definitely let me know if there are some ideas you have for overhead content. I'm really excited to see what we can come up with because overhead videos I just think are some of the most relaxing, most interesting, and most helpful videos to watch. So happy to film more of these. And yeah, let me know if you have any other content ideas for overhead videos. I'm happy to do this more often. Stay tuned for the final one, which will be my lip declutter. I might even have to break it into 2 parts because the lip products are always the ones that are the biggest. I've got lots of glosses and lipsticks. I hope you're having an awesome day. I'm sending you lots of love and I'll see you in the next one.